I wish I could make reaction videos, but I was born in 1956. I've heard all these songs. What could I possibly react to? Hey whippersnappers, Brian here at A Boomer Reacts. Welcome back. If this is your first time here, thanks for checking me out. On this channel I listen to rap and hip-hop songs and let you know what I think about them. Today, however, we're doing a interview with Tupac. I have had requests for two different MTV interviews. One is 1992, one's 1994. So I thought I would do them in chronological order. So we're doing 1992 first. And this is Pac, 21 years old. And this took place in Los Angeles. So we're going to dive right in.
Okay, I'm gonna double them, but give me more volume in the headphones. As loud as possible without killing.
You know, I talked about this song that was going to go on a very special Christmas. I forget what it was now. Was it Ghetto Gospel, maybe? And it never made it on, and then, you know, Eminem got it and put Elton John on it. I think that's what it was. But it never made it on, and I forget why. Maybe we'll find out. Got some energy.
Okay, let's get serious. First of all, it's not a joke. It's very serious. Christmas album, Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad. We just want to send this out to my man right now.
So this means that he had an interview with MTV when he was part of Digital Underground? Let me know. That's all I can think of.
Tell me, how do you pronounce your name?
Tupac.
Tupac.
Remember, like two and Pac like pocket. You won't go wrong. Just Tupac.
Looking good.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, I knew it had gotten dropped, but I forget why. And this is 92. So it's early. You know, it must be that state trooper thing where the state trooper's mom blamed Tupac for, you know, influencing the guy who shot her son, which is so stupid. I mean, how many people have listened to Tupacalypse Now at that point and didn't kill anyone? So it's not the music, it's that person. So stupid. It's so sad that he had to go through that so young. Got to blame somebody.
What's your best Christmas memory?
Let me see. When I thought we didn't get any gifts for Christmas, I was in Baltimore.
Sorry, I keep interrupting. This is just so funny to me because, well, first of all, I asked Tupac how to pronounce his name, so you know this is very early in his career. And we all know that, you know, Tupac is working on a different wavelength than the rest of us. Obviously, this interviewer doesn't know it because he's asking questions like, you know, what's your favorite memory of Christmas? It's like he doesn't know who he's talking to. Ask something deeper.
I thought we didn't get nothing. There was a knock on the door. My sister's principal from her school came, and they had like this charity, whatever, where they give like the turkey to the poor family on the block. We was the poor family. So we got this turkey. I got some cheap boots, you know, got little cheap trinkets. But on Christmas, you want as many trinkets as possible. And so I got a whole bunch of little tiny things. It was cool. We got free cheese, free beans, free butter, free everything. All that little government surplus stuff. But on Christmas, you need it. I mean, as opposed to us having an empty refrigerator, empty nothing. So I just remember when it first came, you know, and it's always like a Christmas carol playing around Christmas time on somebody's TV. And I just remember that first feeling, like really feeling like, you know, dang, this is Christmas. You know, this is like the give thing. the gift thing. That's when I used to feel the sorriest for my mother. It's because there was no man there, you know, and this is a woman, my mother. She had to tell us, you know, she had to make it like Mary, and there was nothing there. There wasn't even regular dinner, let alone Christmas dinner, you know, and she had to, like, explain to us how, like, I mean, it's so hard to sell that all we need is each other's speech, especially when your stomach hurts, you know, and she's telling us that as our stomachs go, she's going, all we need is each other. It's me. But I thought it was just so beautiful how she just would be strong and she would do it. And she would never use that time to go, your fathers are really jerks, you know, they really left me here. But they did. Our fathers really did leave her. And I mean, our fathers, like my father, my sister's father, different fathers, but they really did leave us. And, you know, they didn't call on Christmas to help my mother explain why the hell we ain't get no gifts. They was just like, you know, with they woman, wherever they was, being big shotty, being Santa Claus to somebody else's kids. And so, I mean, no love taken from my father, God rest his soul, but, I mean, I got it. He better not expect nothing big on Christmas.
Tell me about some of the special things that someone growing up in the inner city in your situation deals with.
Okay. Man, it's like, that's deep. It's like, when you're born, usually you're born into a dynasty or an empire, right? You're born like as a junior or, you know, following in your father's footsteps. You always tell, oh, your father, he did this, or oh, your father, or your grandfather, he did this, or we got this, or the family heirlooms. There's none of that in the outer city. I call it the outer city because we left out. There's no nothing. We don't get any family heirlooms, the family crest, all that stuff that you would think is so important was meaningless. Because I mean, come on. Our family crest was cotton, you know what I'm saying? It's like, man, it's like the only thing we can really leave behind is culture, is music, you know, and dignity and determination. That's what we had. So,
he's obviously talking about, you know, the elites in America, because I don't know anyone who was born into an empire or had a family crest. You know, sure, it was a middle income family, and we had a lot of opportunities that you didn't have in what he's calling the outer city because they're on the outs. But by no means was it, you know, here's your legacy, you're following in your father's footsteps, you don't even have to try. That's not true for a lot of people.
So it's like, I feel as though I'm cheated because instead of me fulfilling my prophecy, I have to start one. Instead of me, you know, doing a good job and carrying on the empire, I have to build one. And that's a hell of a job for a 21-year-old. You know what I'm saying? That's a hell of a job for any youngster, male or female, to have to build an empire for your family. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, especially when the odds is that, you know that somebody else who lives in the inner city, the real inner city, suburbia, who, when he's born, I mean, 16, he gets a car, automatic. You know, there's money in the bank for college, you know, it's Christmases, go to vacation somewhere. Our vacations was down the street, cross town, grandma house, you know what I'm saying? That was the vacation. Or, you know, or jail, to be even more real. And I hate to make this like sad story, but it's real. Because this world is such a, and when I say this world, I mean it. I don't mean in an ideal sense. I mean in every day, every little thing you do. It's such a, gimme, gimme, gimme. Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere. Big business, if you want to be successful, you want to be like Trump, gimme, 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 push, 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 step, 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 crush, crush, crush.
Trump was a dick before that and after that, and remains one.
That's how it all is, and it's like, nobody ever stopped. Just, you know, I feel like, instead of us just being like, slavery's bad, slavery's down, bad whitey, bad whitey. I mean, all right, let's stop that. And everybody's smart enough to know that, I mean, we've been slighted, and we want ours. And I don't mean by like ours, 40 acres and a mule, because we're past that. but we need help. I mean, for us to be on our own 2 feet, us meaning youth or us meaning black people, whatever you want to take it for us to be on our own 2 feet, we do need help because we have been here. We have been a good friend. If you want to make it a relationship type thing, we have been there, and now we deserve our payback. It's like you got a friend that you don't never look out for. You know, you dressed up in jewels. Now America's got jewels, and they paid and everything, and they lending money to everybody except us. And it's like, you know, everybody need a little help on their way to being, you know, self-reliant. I mean, if this is truly a melting pot in the country where we care about it and Lady Liberty got a hand like this, she really loves us, then we really need to be like that. And it needs to be the black kids. And if there's a white person who got money, then he need to help them. He need to help black kids, Mexican kids, Korean kids, whatever. But it need to be real. And it need to be before we all die and then you say, oh, I made a mistake. We should have gave them some money.
You know, that reminds me of, you know, a few months ago, Jeff Bezos, the Amazon guy, you know, spent billions of dollars to go up into space for 10 minutes. And it just seems so sick. I saw a statistic, you're going to have to look it up. It was something like, with the money he has, he could house every homeless person in the country and feed them for 6 months, you know, until they got on their feet or whatever, and still have billions left. Like, you know, how much money do you need? You know, it's people, and I think Pac touches on this in his interviews, but it's people like that, you know, people that are gimme, 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 and keep their money and don't share it with those in need. Those are the people that are going to have a hard time in heaven, you know, when they're at the gates. Those are the people that, you know, are going to be sitting down and having a long discussion, whereas the you know, the drug dealers and the prostitutes are just going to walk right in because, you know, God understands their intention. He knows that they're not committing sins by doing that. They're, you know, trying to put food on the table. Their intention is not to keep the junkie strung out or, you know, to have, you know, illicit sex with a stranger. That's not their intention. Their intention is, you know, my family needs food. Whereas the guy who, you know, hoards his money, he's going to have some trouble.
You really should have helped these folks. It's going to be too late. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when you got to pay your own karma. And that's when God make you punish. When God punishes you. Because I feel like, you know, it's too much money here. I mean, nobody should be hitting lotto for 36 million and we got people starving in the streets. That is not idealistic. That's just real. That is just stupid. There's no way Michael Jackson should have, or whoever Jackson, should have $1,000,000 billion and then there's people starving. There's no way. There's no way.
And that's true. I don't understand how, you know, because I'm not mega wealthy at all. So it's hard for me to you know, be in that mindset of, you know, making money while you sleep. But, you know, how do they live with themselves knowing that they have all this money that could be helping people and they're just, you know, hoarding it, spending it on, you know, little pet projects about going into space. I don't know how they sleep at night.
These people should own planes and their people don't have houses, apartments, shacks, drawers, pants. I know you're rich. I know you got $40 billion, but can you just keep it to one house? You only need one house. And if you only got 2 kids, can you just keep it to 2 rooms? I mean, why have 52 rooms and you know there's somebody with no room? It just don't make sense to me.
Ego.
It don't. And then these people celebrate Christmas. They got big trees, huge trees, all the little trimmings. Everybody got gifts, and then somebody's starving. And they're having a white Christmas. They're having a great Christmas, eggnog and the whole 9. That's not fair to me. I think that when there's hopelessness, people revolt. Because it's like there's nothing else. Like, you know, it's like we're going, is America going to help us ever? You know, because, I mean, we know for a long time they haven't. Are they ever? And it's like all these things are showing us no. And you know there's somebody going, no, they're not going to help you. No, they're not going to help you. And then, of course, we seeing, no, they're not helping us.
I was having a conversation with somebody, you know, in the comment section. And he said something like, poverty doesn't know race. If you're poor, you're poor. If you're struggling, you're struggling. And, I can agree with that. Poverty has its struggles, of course, and it doesn't matter what color your skin is, you're going to have struggles if you don't have money. But I was trying to explain to him what the difference between, whites in poverty and blacks in poverty is society's perception of them. The whites, like, in Appalachia and, that stuff, they're viewed as victims of, economic challenges, educational challenges. It's not their fault that, they're living in poverty and the kids are walking around without any shoes on. Whereas the black community that is facing the same poverty, they're looked upon as, well, they're just not trying to, lift themselves out of poverty. And that's the difference. And I think it's a substantial difference, society's perception of poor and what color your skin is.
All BS aside, it all comes down to we got to survive. I mean, even warriors put their spears down on Sundays. We got to survive here in this country, because I'm not going back to Africa. We got to survive here. And for us to survive here, white folks, black folks, Korean folks, Mexican folks, Puerto Ricans, we got to understand each other. We got to take a bigger chance. And when I say Americans, people think I'm talking about Uncle Sam. I mean, like, actually Uncle Sam with the gray hair and the flag. I mean you, the guy, you, the mechanic, wherever, you. I mean, you need to do something. You need to check yourself and see how racist you are. You know what I'm saying? It's real. I think that people, not only the rich people have responsibility to give, but the not so rich, because poor to me is without nothing. Like when people say, oh, I was poor, I see like everybody black has the right to be poor now. That's not true. Poor is not just for black folks. I think that rich black people need to give to poor white folks. You know what I'm saying? And poor Korean people, whatever. It's not like a cut.
I don't know what happened, but the audio is much worse in this part.
It's just for real. It's not a color thing, because what's real bad, I mean, I'm going to answer your question, but to me what's real bad is kids that don't get presents on Christmas. I think adults shouldn't get presents till the kids get all the presents. Because ain't that what it's supposed to be about? Even when you do turn 13 and you know there's no Santa Claus, it's still just
there's no Santa?
When you thought it was. That made life that much more better. And these days, like in the rhyme, it says, we grew up BC, before crack, you and me. We grew up way before all this crazy stuff happened with the AKs and AIDS and all of that. Imagine a rough Christmas with all of that and no Christmas. All of this that we got to go through for 365 days a year, and there's no Christmas. Because we know Christmas is relief day. So all of this with no relief day. That's hard. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of stress. That makes you go crazy. So I kind of forgot the question.
All the people they should be helping.
Okay, yeah. So to make it even, it's like, okay, if you got $50.
I missed what that printing said. So you're saying there, it's the interviewer. So you're saying there is an unevenness. There's all these wealthy people that should be helping. Duh.
Okay, yeah. So to make it even, it's like, okay, if you got $50, you can give somebody $5. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know if it's been times I gave somebody, these little kids that was at the gas station. It impressed me that them little kids is like 14 and they pumping people's gas. Instead of like taking the money like I would think. That's the easy way. They pumping people's gas. And people is cruel. They'll give you a quarter after watching you inhale vapors and everything. They'll give you a quarter for pumping gas. And I gave them little kids like $50. They was like, thank you, but that teaches them the worth. That teaches them that when you work hard and being responsible, there's a reward for that. And I think that just like I did that, corporations can do that. And on a big level, just, imagine if a corporation just sent a representative and said, just go hang out in that playground. And when you tell them you see the one, whatever kid is the coolest and shares the ball or lets the most people play the basketball, we're going to give them a scholarship. You know how many things, because then that would bring hope. You know what I'm saying? There's no hope. And it's not going to be too many more Christmases without hope. You know what I'm saying? Not to make it just about Christmas. It's not going to be too many more days without hope. Because if there's hopelessness, there's revolution. And there's, you know, there's change. And if there's change, I mean, somebody's going to end up on the bottom. And that doesn't have to happen. It doesn't have to be a we on bottom, you on top thing all the time. It could be just a let's spread.
Oh, that's it. You know, it started out kind of like, you know, these softball questions. What's your favorite, you know, Christmas memory? And I was thinking, you know, this guy doesn't even know who he's talking to. And then, you know, Pac kind of took over. You know, I was afraid that the whole thing was going to be like stupid questions, and Pac was just going to have to play the game. But Pac got deep pretty early, especially for 21. But I agree with so much that he said here about inequality. And, you know, it's not any better now. And everyone talks about change. But I mentioned this in another video. Maybe it was a comment section. You know, go out and vote. You know, start voting for people who have your best interest at heart, or at least, you know, seem like they're going to. You know, who knows what any politician is going to do, but at least vote for the one that seems like, you know, they'd be on your side instead of, you know, the corporation side. How can we, what can we do to save the corporations some money? And, you know, I'll get, you know, some donations out of it myself. Yeah, don't vote for those people. Vote for the ones that want to help you. That's how we're going to get change. Well, I really liked that interview. That was fun. It was fun to see him young. So thanks for hanging out with me. If you like this kind of content, give me a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.